we just spent 15 minutes talking about all the shit we were going to say, and I think all we can do is laugh and smile at this point. um where do we even begin? Let's start here. Let's start here. 3 days ago, or 3 games ago, for no reason whatsoever, and I even said it in the intro, I have no evidence. Basically, to make a long story short, was I said I have no evidence of any of this except for we're winning tonight in overtime and we're not losing another game in the series. And now it's rubbing off on Stu. It's rubbing off on Stu. Now Stu is making the magic happen with the bitching and the complaining. It's a beautiful thing. Welcome to the club. Your life will never be the same.
I have no proof, but I'm convinced the players, maybe Bruno, watch our videos, because we've made a lot of claims, a lot of statements, a lot of calling out of players, and look what's happened. Case in point, Carter Verhaeghe. A few videos again, I was like, where's Carter Verhaeghe? He's puck hogging and he's like circling around and basically doing nothing. And, what happened to him? Blah, 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 blah. Well,
yeah,
I think he went like this to me and decided, you know what, Stu, I'm going to be the star of this series.
Yeah.
So hats off to Carter Verhaeghe.
Yes.
Coming through.
Yes.
Being the hero again. Unbelievable series. Unbelievable last couple of games. Unbelievable how this guy stepped up and was the player that was, last year and in the beginning of the season where he was tearing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, can't say enough about Carter Verhaeghe.
No.
Just look at Claude Giroux.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were ragging on Claude Giroux the other day, right?
Yeah. I've been ragging on him not as bad, but the thing for me is now we're getting specific. And I couldn't believe it, because it wasn't like I was making it up. Both 2 times, once in the first, once in the second period, there was a rebound right there, and Barkov was in the vicinity. And it's like, I don't know if he needed to tie his shoes or what. He just wasn't paying attention, and the puck is just sitting there, and he's engaged with his man. So I bitched about that specific thing after the second period, and that's exactly what he did. There was a rebound right by the net, and then he actually looked down this time, and they scored. So
I think you said something about his passes, right? Like, his passes were going nowhere.
No, that was Giroux. For Giroux, right. I was saying, every pass.
Yeah. And look at Giroux pass to Barkov.
Yeah, I know. It's like all of a sudden last night he decided, okay, all right.
We could go down the list.
I know. Well,
Bobrovsky. Not coming up with the saves when we needed it.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I think he proved that in the last couple of games.
Yep.
And we splitting up Ekblad and Weegar.
Right.
And look what happens.
Right.
Aside from a couple of, screw ups, Weegar played much better these last couple of games.
Since we played for him.
Right. And he didn't do any of his stick handling BS.
No.
He just got the puck out like he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Obviously playing with Forsling, I think, really calmed him down.
Right.
Andrew Duclair.
Yeah.
He said last video, whatever. Andrew Duclair's been MIA. Where's Andrew?
I don't want to cut you off, but I gotta give Tim a shout out. He watches every video. He comments on almost every video. And he said in the preview, because he was listening to me, bitch, I want Lomberg in. And Tim said, put Lomberg in for Duclair. And I was like, that's a great idea. It had never happened, but it's a great idea. And I saw him in the comments today, and he's like, who said that? So yes, Tim Black called that. And nobody else would have even thought to sit Duke and put Lomberg in. So I wanted to make sure I got that in, because since we're on the subject of batting each other on the back, he called the move.
I mean, everybody loves Lombard. You know,
Right.
there just hasn't been any room for him. But you put him in, and that spark plug just right place, right time. I mean, just
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say? What can you say? Well, I'm going to give you props because you said the Panthers weren't going to lose another game. So hats off to you on that one. So what else? Did we miss anybody? The only one that really didn't have a terrific series was Huberto. I don't know.
Right.
They were just, blanketing him, and,
Right.
he wasn't able to do his magic.
No, I saw a lot of them playing his passes, and he was still trying to sneak passes through where there were guys with sticks ready and waiting, and he was just trying to pass anyway. That series is over, so who knows how Toronto or Tampa are going to play us, and we'll figure that out. But I just like to see him just shoot more. If he doesn't have the pass, just shoot the puck, and maybe like Potvin says, the best pass is a rebound.
Absolutely. 0 for 18 on the power play. How the hell did we win this series?
Look,
0 for 18. How many times in the preview videos did we talk about how important special teams are?
I need that.
If you want to go to the flip side, I'm not going to say almost all, but a good majority of the Capitals' goals were scored on power plays.
Yeah.
And obviously, speaking of penalties, the referees are atrocious. That embellishment call on Lombard,
I know. I mean, come
awful.
on.
The trip on Forsling at the end,
Right.
That was like, let's give the Capitals a chance to tie the game, because in my opinion, that was an Oshie dive. And I think he did that before and got somebody called on a penalty.
Yeah.
I think another important factor last night was both Ekblad and Sherratt just sucked it up. You could see them both wincing in pain.
Yep.
And it's just incredible how Ekblad, who in my opinion is so important, and I said it 1,000 times, we would have beaten Tampa last year if Ekblad was playing.
Right.
Ekblad's not only set up the Giroux goal, but and he set up another goal. And then Sherratt obviously set up the winner in overtime.
Right.
Those two guys, hats off to those two guys, because they look,
look, when you're getting a massage every time you go back to the bench, and when the trainer's hand would get towards that tailbone, Ekblad, they showed him a couple times, just the trainer's hand would move a certain way, and Ekblad would just like, I mean, he was hurting. He was like, give me the pills, massage me, keep the sucker warm, and no game 7, because who knows? I mean, if we don't play again until Tuesday, that gives him a few days. But both of those guys just absolutely gutting it out. And I kind of envisioned it at the end of the first period, because Ekblad's back in the locker room, and then here comes Sherratt limping in, and I could just see Ekblad going, "You too? Are you?" And the fact that they both got hurt, probably, like, if only one of them's hurt, he probably maybe stays out. But when they both got hurt, they probably said, all right, can you walk? Can you walk? We're going. We're skating,
Yeah, I mean, when we got down to 4 defensemen, I texted you and I said, this is not good. Because what would have happened was the Caps would have just kept on dumping it in and making the D go back. And by the third period, they would have been gassed.
Yeah.
But the camera was on Sherratt for a little bit towards the end of the game, and he had his head down. I mean, he was hurting.
Yeah.
So hockey players are the toughest motherfuckers in sports, without a doubt. These guys are just incredible. How resilient they are and how tough they are, and hats off to them.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Bob. You can go first.
Bubba. Yeah, because I got a bone to pick with everybody who ripped me. I said it game 1, and maybe now that it's played out, people will understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying there's saves that he missed. I'm not saying, he should have had that puck. I'm not saying that's the save he has to have. I'm saying those are the saves you got to make if you want to win a cup. Case in point, Andre Vasilevsky in overtime the other night. Toronto has no business losing that game. For anybody who watched that overtime period, and this is why I'd rather play Toronto, because no disrespect to Jack Campbell, but Vasilevsky can still take the absolute brutal heat in the biggest moments, and it's just the puck just was not going to get past him. It just wasn't going to happen. And you've seen it. Defense and goaltending wins championships. And if these games that we've won, Bobrovsky has made numerous saves that he had no business making. He's got to make the save, but if he doesn't make it, it's not his fault. It was a defensive breakdown, which is really, other than the random breakaway in the playoffs, it's all one defensive mistake. It's just a little mistake. And if the puck's in the back of the net, and he proved finally that, I even said it last night in the intro, and it didn't work out timing wise. I said, but you got three. You're allowed 3 goals, Bob. You know what I mean? 2 good goals and your 1 greasy goal a game, because most goaltenders, even when they only give up 1, that 1 is kind of like, and keep it to 3. Like you said, we need 4. Just keep it to 3, Bob. But
I always say we get 4 goals.
Yeah.
We usually win.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if, anybody else noticed. I'm sure they did, but Ovechkin took a shot right before the final buzzer.
Yes. Yeah, I noticed.
And Bob made a great save on that.
I noticed.
Can you imagine if they had scored with a second left? What that would have done, just to their psyche?
Yeah.
So listen, as far as I'm concerned, obviously we both want Toronto. I don't care. Bring it on. Everybody, I think the national media, that, the fans want to see, not the fans, but I think the commentators, the pundits, the analysts, whatever, they want to see a replay of Tampa, Florida, the Battle of Florida. They want to see that. And I wouldn't mind, but, we have the Vasilevsky factor, although I think out of all the teams in the league, we've proven that we can beat him. But so, you know what? I don't really care. I'd like to see Toronto. I think, that I want to see Toronto beat Tampa. That's
right.
I want to see Tampa just beaten.
I want to, yeah.
So, I want their reign to be over, because they're just too, cocky and arrogant, and, they are the champs. Okay, give them their just due, but I'd like to see some fresh blood in there, and a Toronto Florida series would be awesome. Plus, what I said in the last video, Toronto being the hockey capital of the world, and all the media and blah, blah, blah. I think, if we beat Toronto, then, the media, then they start talking about, this Panther team's for real. I'm sticking to my preseason prediction of a Colorado Avalanche, Florida Panther, 1996 rematch, where we win and Barkov hands the trophy to Jumbo Joe.
Yeah.
Just like Sakic did to Ray Bork, not in that series, but in that first, the series in, I don't know when it was, later on.
Well, it's interesting because we'll get to Joe in a second. Don't let me forget. But in terms of Tampa, Toronto, the Vasilevsky thing, obviously, that set aside the difference in how the games are going to go, and taking into consideration that Verhaeghe's dinged, Ekblad's dinged, Sherratt is dinged. We weren't sure if Barkov was or wasn't, right? Maybe we've already taken a beating, and Toronto and Florida is going to be a lot of open ice. It's not going to be anywhere close to the rough and the all we need is Sergachev to nail Ekblad in the back and tweak that tailbone, which is what I think it was, because he just landed on his hip. So I believe it's a hip tailbone thing. Toronto really doesn't play that game. they they're going to be physical, but you see the Toronto Tampa series, it's nothing like the Panther Lightning series because it just so
I don't think we'll have those violent scrums,
right,
at that stoppage of play in front of the net where,
right,
guys are getting away with punches to the face
right, and
and
the cross
checks and,
yeah,
all that stuff that went on
right,
last year's playoff and in that preseason game where Achari got hurt.
right,
So
right,
I guess for that reason alone, I want to see Toronto, but I
right,
think you're right. I think it'll just be a more wide open, fast game, and that plays into our hands.
right, right, right,
That's what our team's about.
yeah. And to your point about Joe, I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, well, everybody's in now except for Joe. Everybody's played because Mammon's played and Achari's played and Lomberg's played. Right. So I mean, now at some point, I don't know, just necessarily want to put him in against the Leafs in the speed game, but maybe if we move forward and we play the Canes, maybe you throw him his game then, because for those of you who aren't aware, he's got to play one playoff game to get his name on the cup. So we have to throw him in at some point, unless you're going to wait till the cup clinching game and then take somebody off the ice. I'm not so sure. You don't want to wait till game 7 against the Avalanche and you got to take Achari or Lomberg off to get Joe in just because so we got to start, you get past round two.
It would just be fitting for Joe to be in that, that cup clinching game and
right,
have a goal or
right,
or primary assist. It just would be like poetic.
Yeah. Well, whatever. But
let's win the next series,
right,
and see what happens.
Right.
Let's see if Bruno puts Duclair back. I don't know if he's hurt. Didn't seem like he was.
Right.
It just seemed like he was nowhere.
We're slumping.
So maybe sitting him, lights a fire under his butt, and then he comes out in the next series and tears it up. We don't know.
Right. I think that might be opponent based. I think if we play Toronto, you put Duclair back in and leave Lomberg in for the speed. And if we play Tampa, I don't know. Well, Mammon, but because remember we're missing Marchment too. But
yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So obviously, Bruno made a comment that it's the same ailment, and if it's the same ailment, then that tells me it's concussion related.
Right.
And I know he got punished. In the first couple of games, they were hitting him every single time that he came near the puck or had the puck, and he, was off his skates a number of times. So if he's hurt like that, that's a real loss. Just really bad. Another case in point on the other side. Thank God we didn't have to face Tom Wilson in this series. I mean, that kid Hathaway kind of sort of was his, stand-in replacement and got away with a lot of the same antics that Tom Wilson does. I think Hathaway was headhunting the whole series and looking to hurt people.
Right.
So anyway.
Well, what else was it that you wanted to mention? So let's see. We talked about here. We talked about Barkov coming through, right? Okay. And Lundell had the one goal, and then he kind of had, I wouldn't say disappeared for this series. It's just that line wasn't nearly as effective without Marchment. Although, Mammon, look, when a guy comes in playoff series like that, same as the defensive guy, what you want them to, with their first job is don't screw it up, right? You're on the bubble. You're a bubble player for a reason. Just don't screw it up. He played well. He didn't look as good the second game as he did the first. He didn't look bad. So I think the depth that we have is showing up now.
I think Mammon played good. Again, he's brings a lot of energy, a lot of speed, great in the corner. He just can't finish. He just can't find a way to score goals. But that's okay if he's setting up goals. which
Right.
unfortunately didn't do. Luosterainen, I think, played another good game. I don't know why they had him out there at the end of the game to take an important face-off in the D zone, but we survived. You know, I don't really, well, let's just say Uyghur, for the most part, played a decent game. He did have a couple of screw-ups
Yeah.
that led to goals. I don't know why Bruno had Ekblad and Uyghur on with a minute left. I don't understand why he didn't have, Forsling out there or even
Right.
Gudis out there.
Right.
Ekblad got out muscled in front of the net.
Yeah. And if he's hurt,
that would have been a time with a minute left. That would have been a time for Ekblad to knock Oshie on his ass, whether he got a penalty or not. And
Right.
it then became, 5-on-3 or 6-on-3. So be it. There's a minute left. The one positive thing about getting a penalty at the end of the game like that is you can ice it.
Right.
So it's just unfortunate. Our best face-off man lost a face-off clean.
Right.
That led to that shot that led to the goal. And Mantha made a fantastic play, bunting it. On the play, he shortened up and he shortened up his stick. He actually bunted it.
Right.
I think it hit the post, the crossbar,
Well,
and then came out to Oshie.
Yeah.
And then the puck dropped. And I've looked at the replay several times. I actually think Ekblad put that puck in the net.
Well, it was so close at that point. It's all happening so fast, and it's easy for us.
It doesn't matter.
Right. Right. You see the freeze frame, and you think, well, that could have happened. That could have happened. But in the moment, it's just bodies and sticks and everything, flinging shit, and I wasn't. The whole game, Matthias is sitting there and he's saying, "Don't worry, Dad. There's no game 7. There's no game 7," and it got a little quiet. It got a little quiet when Washington took that lead early. It definitely got quiet, and then it got a little quiet again. It was a subdued wait for that overtime period, but I just felt like the announcers kept saying it. They kept saying that Panthers look more comfortable out here, and the Capitals look a little bit nervous. They look a little bit like, oh boy, here we go again. And
what did I tell you? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. The Capitals were hitting everything in sight. They were trying to just, blow us away with physicality.
Right.
And I said to you, as soon as we score, that's kind of sort of going to go away, because then they have to start, playing hockey. And that's kind of sort of what happened. I think we controlled the play in the third period. Giroux's goal reminded me of Mike Bossy. And, Mike Bossy used to get the puck and not even think. He used to just shoot it quick and shoot it 5-hole on the ice. Right. And that's exactly how Giroux's goal was scored.
Yeah.
Again, Ekblad with a fantastic pass. So, if Giroux turns out to be, the guy, him and Verhaeghe are the two guys that lead us to the cup. I mean, Giroux was involved in every single goal.
Yeah, he absolutely monstered. He absolutely monstered up.
And again, what can you say about Verhaeghe? He's just like, the guy is just. I mean, I'm glad he put me in my place.
Well, look.
Reverse psychology. We do a good job of reverse psychology.
I still remember the beginning of the year when I brought up, if I bitch about a guy, he does well, and if I praise him, and you're like, and now you see it's real, man. I can't make that shit up.
So true.
Like I said last night in the recap, Owen Tippett is what happens to guys that I praise. Okay, that he's the poster child, right? I got the guy. I ruined the kid's career. All right, he was doing okay until I started going to bat for him.
You got to straighten out. By the way, you got to straighten out. I'm sure people are noticing. You got to straighten out your flying fluffy picture behind you. It's
Oh, I think is it the picture?
you must have got excited. You must have got excited last night.
Is
And
it the picture? No, it was. I don't think it's the picture. I think it's the camera.
okay,
Yeah, it's just the
Okay.
camera's off a little bit.
All right,
The angle makes it look, you know.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yep.
I mean, I don't know, what I mean. Obviously, I want to see a lot of comments on this video.
Yeah,
and,
no, but
see what you
usually
guys think. But listen,
usually we have the next game to talk about, but we don't. Yeah.
I am so super stoked after 29 years,
Ah,
seeing how many opening rounds we've lost and how we've lost them. The Islander one comes to mind, the heartbreaker in double overtime with Adam Henrique. It's just like, you know what? My friend Brian in LA called it right. He goes, this is a team of destiny. He had no doubts that we were winning. You had no doubts that we were winning. You called it 3 or 4 times during the night. You were texting me, we're winning.
we're winning.
We got this. Don't worry. We're winning.
Got it.
And we found a way to do it. Comeback cats, whatever you want to call them. Obviously, we thought with 5 minutes and 34 seconds left of the game and Barkov scores, we got this somehow, some way.
Yeah, but you knew. I mean, you knew that it was going to be hell those last 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then obviously the penalty didn't help, but
no, the penalty
I really thought we were going to be able to somehow, dump it down the. I know, Paul. I'm saying I know a lot. I apologize. That's how the thoughts come out. But
I got to give Kyle credit. So after the game's over last night, he made and posted his own meme. And it's the meme where you've got the little teeny tiny domino and it gets a little bit bigger. And then eventually that little teeny tiny domino knocks over this huge, massive domino. And the huge, massive domino is the Panthers finally win a playoff series after 24 years, 26 years, whatever it's been. But the little teeny tiny, the very first domino is Washington misses the empty net in game 4 by an inch. Because that was
Absolutely.
the 3-1. They were going to take a 3-1 series lead. It was over. It was over.
I said that to you, when it happened, that it could have gone either way. We had some puck luck last night as well.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle made his first on-camera appearance.
Well, he's been on before. He's been on before. A lot of times he's off camera. But the thing I talked about this in the article after that game 4 was that I could see it. And I think this is part of the reason why I knew we weren't going to lose another game, because it was the opposite of the Trocheck was tripped. Because if Trocheck buries that puck, we're winning that series. And we never won. We never won again when he was tripped. And so when I saw that and I was just like, that's it. This is the opposite. It's the opposite. We're not losing again. And it's exactly what happened to us against the Islanders is exactly what happened to the Capitals. They couldn't quite seal it away with the empty net. And other team came all the way back.
Oh, I know what the puck luck was. It was, I'm trying to think of the player. Orlov maybe hit the crossbar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. It hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
And then came out, and then we took it down, and Barkov scored.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Puck luck.
Yeah.
Destiny.
Yep.
Call it what you will, guys.
Yep.
This is the team.
Yeah.
I think now the fact that we got this monkey off our back,
right,
there shouldn't be any more nervousness.
Right.
These guys should be looking in the mirror and saying, we're badass.
Yep.
We are the best team in the league. We won the President's Trophy. We had 2, 12-plus winning streaks.
Right.
We had whatever it was, 34-7 record at home. We went 39-0-1 after having the lead after 3 periods. I mean, there's so many good things that this team should be looking at themselves and saying, we're the team. This is our year.
Right.
And, nothing other than a Stanley Cup will satisfy the
No,
fans, us,
no.
whatever.
No, this is, we got to finish this. But for
I mean, the best at the end was, let's go home, baby.
yeah, I
mean,
asked on Twitter. I'm hoping somebody tags me, because I get stuck with the national feed because I live so close to Washington. So not that I would have heard Goldie anyway, because as soon as Verhaeghe scored, all you heard was and the boys jumping on me and the dogs barking. But yeah, so I'm hoping on Twitter if somebody has the Goldie call, I'd like to be able to watch that, because I didn't get to see it in real time, and
that's the best.
I miss a lot of the post game stuff because I'm in the recording. I stayed a little bit. I watched the handshake thing, and I could just feel it. When did we score? Because I'm thinking about it now. In the post game before overtime,
We scored with 2 minutes 56 seconds into the overtime.
Is that all it was? God, it seemed longer. It seemed.
And I said to you, remember what I said to you? We let's finish it and finish it quickly.
Right.
And that's what we did in the previous game.
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah. So all those fake
I didn't
games,
want it to go 20 minutes and have it drag on, and because then it gets dicey.
Right.
So, and I think that probably is a strategy that the Panthers let's just take it to them right away and finish it. Oh, by the way, again, 2 games in a row in overtime, 5-on-5, different format.
Yep.
Remember how everybody said, oh, not everybody, but our detractors said,
right,
well, those overtimes are 3-on-3 and it's a different animal in the playoffs. And well, we proved that we can continue to be the overtime team.
Right. Well, I mean, we had the best 5-on-5 goal differential in the league. So I mean, let's play 5-on-5. Let's do this. We're good.
That brings me to my point about the power play.
Yeah.
0 for 18 is that's insane that we won a series with no power play goals, which we could spend another 20 minutes on how bad the power play is.
I gotta say this.
But you know what? Forget about it. It's just why.
Because I've been Kyle. Since I think 0 for 11, this son of a bitch, he's sitting there counting it down in the chair next to me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're 0 for 15 and 0 for 6. He's counting it down. And I'm like, there's going to be one less kid in this house if we don't score a goal on the power play.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you that's probably going to be the main thing that they work on.
Right.
I mean, they did go back to the 5 forwards while Ekblad was out. And then
was out, right.
Obviously he came back later on and did it.
Yeah.
But something ain't clicking. I don't know why. We were the 5th best power play in the league. I mean, we were down when Ekblad was out. I mean, we were down in the, in the 15, 16, whatever. And then, it started going up again. Well, we were scoring 1, 2.
Right.
I mean, there was a game we scored 3 power play goals.
I think
they got to fix that. They got to fix that, Eric.
They're going to have to change what they're doing because the teams are just blocking the shots. Capitals are just they're just getting in front of Ekblad shots and they're just blocking the shots because we're not.
I still say they need to move Ekblad. They need to switch Ekblad and Huberdeau up. Ekblad needs to be in that Ovechkin Stamkos spot for his one-timers and have Huberdeau. Maybe Huberdeau's the guy at the point instead of Barkov.
Right.
I don't know what the solution is, but they could try it. They need to start experimenting with different things because what they're doing now, and they're getting the puck down low, whether it's Reinhardt or Huberdeau or that. I know what they're trying to do.
Right.
But that's not working.
It ain't working. No, I know.
That's not working.
Right. No, well, they'll get it. they'll get it switched. Hey, look, we won round one without a power play goal. Okay, we'll
That's
take
crazy.
it. But I know it's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
We'll take
and again,
it.
it just proves how good we are 5-on-5.
Right.
And it proves, the depth of this team. Like Billy said, they can stay with us 1 period,
Right.
possibly 2 periods,
Right.
but they can't contain us
Right.
for 3 periods. Eventually, we play Panther hockey, which is, fast, aggressive, forecheck, just battles in the corner.
No,
And
we're good.
Bob plays
And Bob.
Pheasant and Bob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody beats us.
No. So, all right, guys. So there will be videos. There will be a playoff preview, obviously, or round 2 preview, at least one. I said last night that was the last game without a stream. So whenever game 1 is for round 2, I'll be good to go for that. Gonna try to finish up because normally, I have a game 1 intro, a big thing that I do. But because I got sick, I couldn't finish it. So I'm gonna try to finish that up for game 1 around 2. So some of the lyrics will be interesting because they are applied to round 1, but I ain't recutting it. And then we're gonna try to do our best to get Randy and Billy and the whole Gashima Stuka on. And we get a couple of days now where we can just relax and breathe and enjoy it. And everybody go get it. Everybody go get a massage except for Barkov. No, Barkov not allowed to get a massage. No.
Didn't you love Barkos? He's not the most demonstrative guy in the world, but he's getting better at the sillies.
Yeah.
And when he scored that go-ahead goal.
Yeah.
I
wanted it.
And he popped a smile and he had his stick in the air.
Yeah.
And you love seeing that.
No, I agree. I wanted that so bad to be the series winner. Just, because I ragged on him for not showing up in that exact spot. So that would have been apropos. But unless we're losing, like it's weird when I'm watching the games, when we're tied, I feel like we're ahead. Because we go to overtime. The level of confidence is almost more in overtime because I know we're going to turn it on when we come out for overtime. And so, it's
there's definitely confidence. Getting a goal scored against you in the final minute.
That was a long minute too.
In a series clinching game where you basically, the latter part of the game controlled the play and for them to go in, I'd be really dejected. And you know what? I bet you they were dejected for 5 minutes. And I bet you Hornquist, Jumbo, I bet you those guys were like, listen, boys, we got this.
Right.
Forget about it. We got this.
Right.
And that's where I think Hornquist, besides his play on the ice, which again, I think he had a good game.
No, he did. He
definitely gets under the opposing player's skin.
Yep.
I watched him every whistle. After every whistle, he's in somebody's face.
Right.
Chirping it up.
That's true.
But I bet you he was probably, I don't want to say probably, I'll just speculate that he was one of those voices in the room that were, telling the younger guys, don't worry about it. We got this.
Right.
We got this.
We got it. Yep.
Anyway, so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens tonight. What are you thinking? It's in Toronto.
I've been saying Toronto the whole series. I've been saying Toronto in 7 the whole series.
I wonder if it's going to be an overtime game. I'd like to see, a Toronto, 4-2 win or 5-2 win or, something that's it's not on a fluky goal. I want to see Toronto beat Vasilevsky.
Right.
I
think we'll know early on. It's like Tom Brady and the Patriots. I don't trust them to go away. I don't trust Tampa to go away. Toronto's going to have to play the freaking game of their life because if Tampa gets a lead and Vasilevsky senses that he can close this out, There's nobody better. You know, there's just nobody better. So
that key to that game tonight, call me crazy, but Toronto's got to get like 40 shots, 35, 40 shots.
yeah.
They got to just keep shooting from everywhere.
Right.
I mean, look what happened. Did Oshie have another? Who had a deflection goal last night? Huh?
I believe it was it Oshie?
No, it was somebody else.
No, it was the other guy we can't freaking stand.
Schultz? No, Schultz took the shot.
Backstrom.
Yeah, Backstrom. There you go. You know, off a shot from the point.
Yeah, the one that looked like it was.
And we have not been doing that. And that's why that's where I think would make a difference on the power play is if we, you know, like Hornquist, how many goals did Hornquist score?
Right.
Even Reinhardt score, where they're right in front of the goalie's face, either taking his eyes away,
right,
or getting a rebound.
Yeah, but like I said,
we scored a goal. You know, the overtime winner of the game before was you know Verhaeghe's shot off the pads.
Right.
Samsonov kicked it out right to Verhaeghe.
Yeah, right back to him. Right.
So I mean, that's a good way to score. All right, so let's just see what happens.
Yep.
And then I guess you know I was in touch with Randy. I'm pretty sure he's ready to do this with us.
Yeah,
you know, once once we know who we're gonna play. So
right.
Looking forward to that. Looking forward to what he had to say about the series. But I'm sure he's gonna say a lot of the things that we said, which is basically we got the monkey off our back.
Yeah.
We finally won an opening round. Hats off to the Cats.
Yep. Now Toronto, do your part.
They deserved it. And yeah, let's see Toronto do that.
Let's see Toronto do that. Right. So, all right, guys, we appreciate all the support. Get this up and out, and
hit the like button.
Hit the like button. Appreciate
comments, man. Yep. I hope there's a lot of comments on this video. I want to answer comments. If you guys want to rag on me, whatever, that's fine.
Oh, that's okay. You're part of the crew now.
That's fine. You know, let's do it in a fun. Let's do it in a fun way because you know what? There should be nothing negative posted on this video.
Right.
It should just be a lot of whooping and a lot of good stuff. Because,
well, of course, there's going to be some Capital fans that might not be too happy, but we understand. We understand.
You know what?
Guys.
I'm leaving it alone because I haven't seen. I was looking for it this morning because I saw a video that he posted when we won Game 4.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't seen one since. But and
he might have gone to the game last night.
He never replied to me about, when I called him out on the crowd thing. I would love to see him post a video about last night's game.
Yeah.
But you know what? Why bother?
No, look.
It's a moot point. We beat him.
We beat him.
So ref the district. If you're watching this video, I'm not gonna attack you.
Be nice.
The Caps played a good series, but we were better.
Yeah. So
and we kept Ovi off the score sheet last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said,
Bob kept him off the score sheet.
Yeah, everything goes through Ovechkin on that team, and
right. Yeah, there were some stunned faces on that bench because, I saw the national feed, so they were showing both.
Yeah, I wanted to just before we end the video, because I obviously watched, our home feed.
Right.
Tell me what the national guys were saying after the game.
Well, after the game, they were, let's put it this way. I think there was 5 guys in the pregame, so during in the intermission, 4 of them picked the Panthers. Everybody was picking who was going to get the goal that was going to win. I think Gretzky's the one that called going back to Verhaeghe. And then everybody picked the Panthers, and they got to the last guy, and he's like, I guess I'll take Washington. And he picked somebody for what, but I think basically they all kind of, they could kind of see what was coming. The national guys, they were pretty balanced. They were pretty balanced the entire time. I think they kind of watched this the same way we did, where they're coming out flat, they're falling behind, they can't score in their power play, but they won't lose. I think they kind of had the same attitude. It was like, this is not how it's supposed to work, but they won't lose. And so, yeah, they were pretty fair and balanced. The only thing that, and I guess this because it's a national thing, but and anytime it was like a questionable penalty that maybe shouldn't have been called against Washington, it was like they would show the replay and they would show it really quick, and the announcers would kind of just be like, "Oh yeah, that looks like a penalty to me. Okay, we're going to move on." It was just like they wouldn't they didn't go back until the pregame crew went back, like the one, but that wasn't Panthers. That was the Tampa Bay Lightning series where they gave, I believe they gave Tampa Bay a 5-on-3 where they scored. And in the intermission, those guys were kind of like, yeah, they got hosed. Toronto got hosed, I believe.
What did they say about the Lombard embellishment? I'm curious.
They didn't really, they just called it, right? They
didn't want to deal with it because they know there was no embellishment there.
Right. They just kind of skated over that really fast.
How do you call an embellishment penalty in a critical game like that?
Right. Especially with a guy like Lombard who's going a million miles an hour wherever he is on the ice.
Let's
I know. No, we have to bitch about something. We have, like I said, I have already started bitching about all the fishing I'm gonna miss now. So that's it. There's no happy thoughts, only bitching on this channel because it works.
Anyway, I'm stoked. It's going to be a really good day for us.
Yeah.
And I hope every Panther fan enjoys this, and you got to get ready for the next series, whoever it is.
Right.
Tuesday night, I think, is when we start.
Yeah, that's what I heard is Tuesday. So,
and that place is going to be rocking.
Yeah.
I mean, we have home ice, guys.
I know.
The whole playoffs until we get to the. Do we have home ice? We have home ice in the finals too, don't we?
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. Is now that whole President's Trophy thing, I don't mind it so much now because.
Okay.
Being able to relax and be like, well, if there is a game 7, it's at home. It does matter now. You know what I mean?
Well, I can't wait to hear. Because I know it's going to be a full building, but I can't wait to hear the reception that the Panthers get when they come out on the ice.
Yep.
For the for the opening whistle, it's going to be electric.
It's going to be beautiful.
So anyway, Eric, have yourself a good day. How you feeling, by the way?
I'm functional.
You getting there?
Yeah, it's an odd thing, man. A lot of times the nausea comes on late in the day. And like right before the game started yesterday, I just had a massive wave of nausea, and I watched the whole game nauseous as hell. And I would just put myself together to film the parts for the recap. But when we scored in overtime, I must have been holding some stress, because when we scored in overtime and the boys climbed me like a Christmas tree, and somehow I literally had 400 pounds of guy. They were climbing me. It wasn't. Somehow, since then, the headache is like 90% reduced. So I might have.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave you with this thought before we say goodbye. Think Ekblad Sherratt. Suck it up.
That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been here.
Suck it up.
Doing it. Exactly. Yep. All right, guys. We appreciate all the support. We'll see you again soon.